Procedure for conducting business is the petitioner for each item will be given the opportunity to come forward and present his or her request and answer any questions that members of the board may have. Then anyone interested in or opposition to the proposal will be asked to come forward and voice their opinions or concerns. Once we receive public testimony and discussion for a particular item has concluded, the members of the board will deliberate and we will render our decision. Members with a personal or financial interest in any item will be requested to recuse yourself from voting. Any testimony that is submitted by the petitioner or on behalf of the petitioner during the presentation of the agenda item will be binding as to any decision the board makes relative to the motion. If a motion to deny an item is made, a reason must be given. This time I'll introduce the members of the board that are here. I believe we have 8. Ms. K.T. Brown is our Vice Chairman, Mr. Steve Hughes, Mr. Nathan Williams, Mr. Corey Johnson, Mr. Bart Prince, Mr. Pickett Reese, Mr. George Howell Jr., and I'm John Stanley, your Chairman. Let's see, our staff tonight is Ms. Tanya Ingram and our recording secretary. We have 8 members here tonight. It takes 5 votes to approve a motion. Any questions? We have 5 items on the agenda. Have any been removed?
Yes,
to your knowledge, Tanya? Okay. Well, thank you for being here. We'll start with item number 1 that is presented by Abraham Ganesh, requesting a special exception for a mobile home for living purposes to be located on a parcel approximately 300 feet west of Lamar Road and approximately 1,600 feet south of Steel Lane in an Ag 1 and R75S zoning district. Is he here? The petitioner here? That's item number 1. We'll hold it over till later. See if he shows up. Item number 2 is presented by Valerie Brown, requesting a special exception for a private school to be located at 2200 Madison Avenue in a B2 zoning district. Ms. Brown?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you might want to remove that so we can hear you clearly.
Yes,
and please,
sir.
when y'all come to the mic, please speak directly into the mic and as clearly as possible.
Okay. Well, I'm asking for a zone for my cosmetology school. I came once before, and that fell through because once the engineers came in, they had to bring it up to code, and it was too much.
You're going to have to speak a little louder into that.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
That's better.
Yes, sir.
You got to speak real directly into it and loud.
Okay. I came once before for cosmetology school. It was going to be on Wearsferry Road. That fell through because the engineers, once they came in, one of them, which was the air conditioning engineer, it took too much to bring it up to city code, to the 2020 code. It was going to be about $40,000 to bring it up to code. And the landlord didn't want to help with that. So I had to find another location, which was 22, which is on
Madison Avenue.
Yes, Madison Avenue. So I'm asking for a rezoning for the cosmetology school on Madison Avenue.
Okay. So this is going to be a private school for cosmetology.
Yes, sir.
And we're looking at an aerial, and it appears that you've got parking in the front of the building.
Yes, sir.
And is that McDonald's next door to you?
It is, yes, sir.
Okay. So, but you're not planning on parking in the McDonald's parking lot?
No, sir.
Because all of your parking is going to have to be in and out of your place.
Yes, sir.
And you've got how many parking spaces there?
It's 20. He's gonna the owner of the building is gonna restripe it for me, and it's gonna be about 20 to 21, he said, when he finished.
Good, good, okay. And so your hours of operation are Monday through Friday from 8, it says 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., or is that supposed to be 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.?
8 a.m. to 10
8
p.m.
a.m.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our agenda says 8 p.m. So 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.,
Yes, sir.
approximately 20 students.
Yes, sir.
Will they all be there at the same time?
No, sir. That's why I'm gonna have night class. I'm gonna have about 10 in the morning and hopefully 10 in the evening.
Okay. All right, any questions, board members?
Okay, the one at 10 a.m. in the morning, how long will it last?
The morning class is from 8 to 3:30, and the evening class is from 5 to 10.
Okay, I'm good with that.
So they're really not overlapping.
No, sir.
That's good.
That's what I
Okay.
wanted to find out.
Okay. Is your parking lot well lit at night?
It is. Alabama Power have some lighting out there, so it is. And then on the building, it has lighting on it as well.
Okay. We're going to ask that you beef up your lighting because you are having night classes.
With the 2020 code with the city, it has to be lit up.
Right.
So, yes,
just be
sir.
sure you got plenty of lighting
Yes, sir.
because you got people coming in and out of your building as late as 10 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Stanley, I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Hughes?
It's looking to me like if you look at how much parking is there now, and I can't see how, if it's restriped, you would get 20 to 21. But
Well, the owner of the building, that's what he told me, how he's going to do it. He said he'll be able to get 20 to 21 there.
if you can't, do you need 20 to 21?
I don't.
Okay. So you don't, that's just more than you're going to require.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And in that zoning, B2 zoning, Steve, it's only 2.5 spaces per 1,000 square feet of building anyway. So she meets the zoning, but she's here for a use variance anyway.
Right.
Right. We just want to make sure you got plenty of parking
Yes, sir.
because your customers cannot park in Madison Avenue.
Oh, no, sir.
Obviously.
They cannot. No,
And
sir.
that side street, South Pennsylvania, they can't park in South Pennsylvania. And
Right.
McDonald's is not going to allow you to park over there unless you get special permission. So
I know. Yes, sir.
just make sure you don't make a mistake and have inadequate parking,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes, sir.
Because that can be a problem.
No, sir.
Any other questions? Is there anyone in the audience care to address this item?
We entertain a motion?
Yes, sir. No, we got somebody.
Oh, we got somebody?
I'm Gene Gunter,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Chairman.
You're his,
Gene Gunter.
Gene?
Yes, I'm with the Capitol Heights Civic Association, and I just want to thank you guys for your service, and I wanted to let you know that we're pleased to have Ms. Valerie Brown have her school there.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming, and thank you for what you're doing in Capitol Heights.
Well, thank you,
I
sir.
really appreciate it. I grew up in that area.
All right.
Yeah. Anyone else care to address this item? Ms. Brown, you want to make a motion?
Yes, I move that we approve special exception to operate a private school, cosmetology, and make sure that the parking lot is lit up and you don't have any more than 20 students.
Don't have any more what?
Any more than
Miss Brown.
20 students.
Okay.
I can't hear
You're
you.
going to have to, you may have to move that thing down, Ms. Brown. She can't hear you clearly.
I move that we approve the motion on the agenda for special exception to operate a private school of cosmetology, that the parking lot lighting be beefed up and there be no more than 20 students.
No more than 20 students? Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's part of the motion and the approval of this. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Mr. Howell, second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Good luck, and if you
Yes,
need
ma'am.
any of us, holler.
Ma'am?
If you need us, holler.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank
You
y'all so
may need
much.
her more than she needs you, Ms. Brown. Item number 3 is presented by J.F. Thomas and Sons Construction, representing Joseph and Quandra Brinson, requesting a street side yard variance and a height variance for an existing fence located at 8967 Caraway Lane in a PUD zoning district.
I'm James Thomas with J.F. Thomas and Sons, and this is Mr. and Mrs. Brinson. And we are requesting a street side variance for their corner lot to give them an adequate size backyard. The height variance does not come into play for this. I'm not sure where that came from. There are lake lots within that plat that have a height variance, a height restriction, but there is no height restriction for the other lots.
Well, is that correct?
When you encroach that 30-foot setback, a privacy fence can only be 3 feet tall. Anything above that, you have to get a variance for in that 30-foot setback.
Okay, so it's just a double.
Yeah, you have to get a variance for the setback as well as the height.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it looks like you're really encroaching onto Caraway Court right up to the property line, okay? And we've got several letters here from neighbors who have concern and have issued a complaint about that fence, okay? And I'm gonna give them that opportunity to come forward, okay? Anything else you want to say to that before I ask any of the other board members? And then the opposition will be given the opportunity.
Sure. I mean, there's nothing obstructing the view, as far as driving, so I don't know what would be the only complaint I could see would be the neighbor behind, but his house is turned almost at a 45-degree angle instead of coming straight on. So if his house was positioned normally on a lot facing 90 degrees, he wouldn't be looking at the fence. Ms. Brinson would like to say something.
The fence is up, correct?
Correct, and I might say that it was submitted to Breckenridge HOA, I believe in July, and was approved. It was also submitted to the City of Montgomery Building Department and approved.
Okay. We'll give them an opportunity in a minute. Any questions of the petition? Mr. and Ms. Brinson, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I'm Quandra, this is Joseph, and we just moved there probably 6 or 7 months, and the neighbors behind us, their builder sodded part of our property, thinking it was theirs. That's where the problem comes in, because they had the illusion that part of the property was theirs that was not. Then they would have had the understanding that that was our property line. So I have a picture where they sodded that part, so it gave them illusion that that was their lot. So that's where it comes into play, where they feel like we are in their space or covering their house, but in reality, the house was on a 45-degree angle, as well as they had sodded half of our backyard for theirs.
Well, you're still in violation of the setback. Okay?
Yes, sir, and just like James said, that there's no site violation in there. They can clearly pull out of their driveway. There's no problem with them seeing. I have taken a picture from across the street, and you can see clear up their driveway, so there's no problem with them coming out of their driveway. So
Okay.
that's what I think the city should be concerned about, is actually what is the site, there's any safety issues going on with this.
Tanya, let me ask you again, where does the 3-foot height variance come in here?
When you encroach the 30-foot setback variance, the setback, just say, for instance, they wanted to put up a fence. Where it is now, it can only be 3 feet tall. To be 6 foot or more, it has to be set back 30 feet. This is typical for all privacy fences.
Okay. Everybody understand that?
No, say that again.
The 30-foot setback, you're supposed to be set back 30 feet from the property line.
Right,
They're not.
okay.
So within that 30 feet, you can only have a 3-foot tall privacy fence. Anything above that requires a variance.
Okay. And
But if they're sitting back 30 feet, then they can be 6 feet high.
Yes,
Right, got it.
But
Okay.
if, as that street curves, that 30 feet.
Curves with it.
Curves with it.
right.
So it's a pretty significant encroachment.
Yeah, it comes to the property line at that back corner.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
If it was set back 30 feet, this wouldn't be an issue.
What did you just say?
If it was set back 30 feet from the property
wouldn't be an
line.
issue, right. Right. All right. Any other questions of the petitioner?
If it's set back 30 feet, then we have no backyard at all. There's no backyard if it's 30 feet. So if they push it back 30 feet, they will end up giving the people behind us all my yard, and then we'll fence in, but they'll keep our yard, as well as if we take the fence down, their house, our backyard, if we stand in our backyard, we look straight at their front door. So when you're looking at somebody's front door and it's open to a 3-foot fence, then all of their company, everything that's coming in, we're sitting in their front yard. So that's why we're asking for the fence, because we're almost in their front yard because their house is turned at an angle. And I have a picture of me standing in my back door looking straight ahead to their front door, and that shouldn't be.
Well, the purpose for this board is to deal with these kinds of issues, okay? And oftentimes, we try to encourage the petitioner and those that have a problem that may have filed the complaint reach a compromise, okay? Which might allow you to keep your 6-foot high fence, but move your fence in some, because you have gone out to the property line. Have y'all attempted to
Yes, sir.
meet with, let me finish. Have y'all attempted to meet with your neighbors and the HOA to make sure everybody's happy with this?
I have an email where the neighbors hadn't attempted to meet with me, but we called a meeting with the neighbors. We have had a sit down with the neighbors to see if we can come to a compromise. We were working on the compromise. On the day they sent the certified letter to the city, they had just emailed me the day before of some proposal of how to do the fence, but our neighbors had already called the city. So we thought that we should just leave it up to the city to decide. We have tried, we moved in that house in November. We've met with the HOA January the 9th. Then we met with all of the neighbors on January the 29th. So we have tried we was coming to a compromise. Somebody somewhere got mad, so they said they'll call the city and let you all handle it. So that's where we are now.
So the HOA approved it?
Yes. They said, I have a letter from the HOA which said in here, it says, technically your fence meets the neighborhood ARC guidelines.
Okay.
So of course these neighbors have concern, so they came to us about it, but they actually said that we meet guidelines. We don't have any problems as far as in the community. So we just, ask that we get the variance, because we built this home for our children to stay in the backyard and play and things of that nature, and to take that away from us just because of a house is set in a different direction, as well as there's no safety. There's a house across the street which has a similar situation, but the problem with theirs is they set their fence back, but the driveway is close to the fence. Their driveway is on the opposite side, so there's no sight problems with them coming out of their driveway.
Okay. All right.
One more.
Anyone want to ask a question before I call for the opposition?
One more.
Sure.
if this fence were 3 feet tall, we wouldn't be here.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's right.
So it's not the position of the fence, it's how tall it is. I
It's
got
the
it.
position and the height.
I got it. Thank you.
I didn't hear the question or the answer.
He asked if the fence was 3 feet tall, would we be here? And I said, no, we wouldn't be here for it.
Got you. I have a question for Mr. Thomas, is it? Yes, sir. You said something was approved about this somewhere?
Yes, sir, I have both an HOA approval letter and the city building permit.
Okay, that's the HOA.
Correct, and a city building permit. It was on the site plan
city-
when the plans were
sorry.
submitted.
The city did what?
It was on the plans when it was submitted for the building permit.
Okay,
I have an answer for that. I asked the building department because I didn't know either, and they say permits for fences are a separate permit. It doesn't go with the house.
Yeah, and in 35, 40 years in the business, there's never been a fence permit pulled in the city of Montgomery by A-plus Fence, Swearingen Fence, or any contractor that I've ever known.
That's what
Yeah,
I was told.
I'm just telling you that
Okay.
we didn't know that.
So the city gave a building permit for the house and the fence?
On his building permit for the house, the fence was on there, but I was told by the building department that a separate permit for the fence has to be a separate permit.
Right.
That just because it's on the building plan doesn't mean the fence is approved for permitting.
Okay, got it. And just because the HOA approves it does not mean that the city approves it? Correct. Yeah, okay.
I just want to say one last thing.
Yes, ma'am.
3-foot fence is not privacy, so,
Understand.
I mean, it's just not private.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one.
Ms. Brown?
Okay, number one, this fence has already been built and is already there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Number two, I'm reading through this material. I wish I had gotten it earlier. But as I read through this material, most of the letters and notices that I see and I've come across, it is stating other things beside the fence, such as property being unkempt and about being approved, no ARC violations, and other things. They're not talking about the fence. They're talking about other things dealing with the property and coming into the community. So we are here to deal with the fence itself, not the other issues that they have
That's
with
right.
the property.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Okay. Anyone here in the audience care to address this item? You got any concerns, please come forward. And we'll need your name and your address, please, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Jackie McLean, and I live at 9013 Caraway Court, speaking on behalf of the fence issue. What I would like to say is that we met as a group, tried to work it out with the Brinsons. Everybody was willing to work it out besides the Brinsons. The HOA we had a meeting with the HOA. They put pictures where they would put trees up behind the Brinson so it would look nice and would not block the neighbor's front. We got pictures where this fence blocks his whole front. They wouldn't want the fence blocking their whole front door, and it's out of violations. That's the main thing. And as the house was being built and the fence was going up, we made several stops. My neighbors emailed because they couldn't make it today, and other members of the neighborhood has emailed also where they couldn't make it today. But everybody had concerns. We even stopped when they was building the house. We talked to the builder that was there, and we told them our concerns. They still went up. Per the HOA to us, that they didn't approve the fence. And when we tried to meet with the Brinsons at the clubhouse and everybody work it out, and they said they would plant flowers. We even told them we would help them with the flowers, do everything we could, so it would be a beautification for not only them, but for the neighbors also. So everybody would be pleased with it. They would have had privacy. They said they would plant up trees that would mature in a fast length of time so that they could have the privacies, but everybody was willing to work besides the Brinsons. And that's why we're here. And when Ms. Brinson said we came to the city first, that is incorrect. We did not come to the city first. We tried to work it out with them first. When we saw where they wasn't responding, they wasn't cooperating, the HOA told us, you know, we have tried everything we can to work with the Brinsons. They don't want to work. We have been over. They hired landscape guy to come out, professional landscape guy to come out to tell them, look, we can do all of this. It will still be beautiful for you. Your privacy will still be there and everything, but they wouldn't work with none of us. So that's why we are here today, because nobody would work. And it's not fair to the neighbors, and every neighbor in that neighborhood is concerned about that fence because it takes away, like the neighbor across the street from them. Yes, his fence turned in which it's not, and he got it stained, so it's not taken away from the neighborhood. I don't know if y'all know about Breckenridge, but when we moved out there, it's an inclusive, you know, it's a nice neighborhood. So we didn't go out there paying $50,000 for a house. We paid money for the house, so you don't want to pay that for your house. And y'all can see these pictures from the Brinsons. That fence takes away that whole cuddle sack. And then we had the city to come out there to make sure it wasn't in violations, and it's not in violation. So if it's breaking the law, it's breaking the law. And if the neighbor across the street has his turned where it's not taken away from the front of somebody's house, what makes them any different from the neighbor across the street? We think it should be across the board. If one has to do it, the other one should have to too. And like I say, we tried to work with them, keep peace with everybody, but the HOA came, every member of the HOA was there, and like I said, we even talked with the builder when the fence was going up, when the house was being built. We let them know up front. These was our concerns about that fence going up, but everything was ignored. The fence went up, and the HOA told us that the fence was not approved, and that's why we should come to the city so we can get it where it will be in violations, because right now it's breaking the violations.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Stanton, what is this letter?
I think she,
I'm sorry, were you asking something?
She's asking me a question.
What is this letter about peas?
That's another item.
Oh, that's another item? Okay, number 4, okay.
We're dealing with a fence
Okay,
right now.
all right.
I'm,
Okay,
sir,
need your name.
I'm Choi, last name Choi, and then from
You're gonna have to
900.
speak louder and clearly into that mic.
I'm last name Choi, from 9007 Caraway Court. I'm like right behind the.
All right,
Princeton
who
school.
lives in the house that's most affected? Who lives in this house right behind the fence?
Me,
You do?
yes.
Okay, that's what I need
think
to know.
she covers fully about what happened, and then she covers every, back and forth history.
Okay.
So
the
I'll
house-
just give you my
So
feeling.
the fence blocks your visibility.
Yeah, I printed it out.
I understand.
Yeah, I
And-
took the photo from the front
And the
and
fence
the back.
most affects you. The fence most affects you.
Yes, sir.
And you're opposed to the fence, right?
Thank you.
Yes,
You're
sir.
you're opposed to the fence, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Let's keep it short and don't repeat.
Yeah, she covers mostly everything, so I'll
Okay.
just give you my feeling, and then I'm here on behalf of my family members who have suffered a great deal of mental and emotional anguish as a result of this ongoing fence dispute. My wife, she married to me, and she's from Korea, which is south, obviously, and then she's dealing with a lot of stress about this fence issue. So I would like to make a comment for today.
Okay.
And then, by the way, the public hearing notice signage you put, and then they taken down even the signage the day after. So they just simply ignore everything, every offer, every offer that our homeowners in our cul-de-sac, and then even HOA, made a proposal to them, offered them to having a plant tree, and then having a setback a little bit to the fence, move a little bit, to their backyard. And then from our HOA money, even we all agree, other than Brinson's, we offer beautifying our, their fence.
Right.
On HOA money, which is mine too, so.
Okay. Let me ask you, is there a representative of the HOA here tonight? Okay, we'll give you that opportunity.
Yes.
Could I ask him,
Yes, ma'am.
how does the fence affect you? What does it cause not to happen or to happen?
As you see from my handout, each block obstruct the views of my house, first of all, and then as soon as I walk out the door, and then I see the fence.
Yeah.
So I don't see any, view, just but the fence.
No view at all?
No view at all.
And how far is the fence from the
About-
closest corner of your house? How many feet would you say?
How tall is it?
How close is that fence from the corner of your house?
I don't know
Approximately.
exactly.
Huh?
I don't know exactly. I'm not familiar in yards or
10 or 15 feet or 10 or 15 yards?
Say he doesn't know.
Do I? Yeah. That's okay. It's irrelevant. That's an irrelevant question.
okay.
That's
So I
okay.
think the photo will tell you
Okay.
how close they are.
All right. Thank you.
You want to?
All right.
Hello, my name is Tran. I live on 9006 Caraway Court. Basically, I live across from the Brinson and also Mr. Choi house right here. So I live in the neighborhood. When the house was built and then when the fence was put up, like the way they describe it, it was already an eyesore for all of us. We paid over $350,000 plus per the house. I feel like with the fence, especially for the Mr. Choi house that's being affected, I believe that if he decides to move, the value of his house is going to go down tremendously because of the fence. We did talk to the Brinson family. I'm sure they're a great family, but right now I think the most important thing is the HOA regulation and stuff like that. Is that we want that to be abide and make sure that the fence was moved back according to, I guess, the law or for the HOA. Thank you.
Let me ask you, is there a compromise?
Yes, I was in a meeting with the HOA, the Brinson family, and all the other family in the neighborhood, and we were at the clubhouse. We made a lot of suggestions. Lower the fence, picket fence, remove the fence. HOA willing to grow trees high enough where it's going to beautify or make the view for Mr. Choi a little bit better. Flowers, he got a lot of ideas he shared with everybody, but I believe all the ideas were turned down by the Brinson. I don't have for fact, but I believe that's according to what I received. And we were willing to compromise for the view and all that. My house is actually affected too, but my neighbor, Dr. AJ, was willing to plant trees and beautify the area, and so we were a little bit happy about it. But right now, I think the main thing is the Brinson, the fence that's blocking the view of Mr. Choi.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
was the builder notified by the city that this fence should be?
I don't know that. Well, we answered the question a while ago. The fence was never approved, right?
Right.
I mean, I can answer to the fact that I was never contacted regarding the fence.
You were never contacted?
No, ma'am, nor have I spoken to any homeowner regarding the building of the Brinson's home.
I noticed that it said that the builder reassured them. that
Correct.
this
I mean,
could be done.
this builder has never spoken to anyone regarding the Brinson's home that lives in Breckenridge.
Mr. Chairman, you know what I'm hearing from both sides, I think they need to meet and we need to delay this.
Well, we've got the HOA here. Sir, do you intend to make a comment?
If you have any questions for me.
Why don't you come here and let me ask you a question before I address Ms. Brown's concern. Are you in agreement with everything that's been said here tonight?
From what there's a lot of echoes in here. From what I've heard, I'm in relative agreement, yes. From the HOA, from my understandings, there was a lot of talk about HOA approving the building. From my understanding, when the HOA approval is for the front of the house, the elevation of the house basically goes to our architect to make sure it fits in with the neighborhood. We don't approve the actual plot or the lot. We basically approve the front elevation of the building.
Okay.
And we don't get into the fences. That's usually a city activity.
Sir, we need your name.
Name is Ken Garrett, Garrett. I'm at 1032 Haley Brook Lane.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. President, so you don't have anything to do with the fence as far as approval or anything?
We have restrictions for heights, and it meets the height restriction for a backyard fence and a side fence, but not the location of it.
But let's be clear, the HOA does not
Make that determination.
is not the final authority on this issue.
That's
We
right.
are.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Ms. Brown, let's go back to your suggestion. You want to make a motion?
Yes, that it be delayed. And they have a meeting. And work everything out before they bring it before us.
Well,
I already had a meeting.
we are going to.
Can I say
I think Ms. Brown's reason for the delay is that it looks like there's room to compromise.
Yes.
Okay?
Can I say something?
And you, sir,
Okay.
and Ms. Brown, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you making the motion. I'm not, but I want
Yes.
to clarify.
Yes.
If you're okay with this, is that it appears that there's been an attempt to compromise. It hasn't been reached at this point, and we're going to put it back in y'all's court to compromise and come up with a solution, because if you don't, we're going to make the decision in the next meeting, okay? And that could be the removal of the whole fence
Make a decision.
or what. But this is an opportunity for y'all to work this out. Ms. Brown, am I correct?
Yes.
You want to make that motion?
I so move.
Have a motion to move for them to get
Delay,
together and come back at the
together,
next meeting. And we'll put y'all first on the agenda. Do I have a
Please.
second?
Please.
Hold on. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion?
Yes, I'd like to hear what they have to say.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to say that it was incorrect that we was not willing to compromise. Just like I told you, the day that the certified letter came in the mail, the day the HOA sent the proposal for the alternate of the fence, the certified mail came in they had already called the city. So we deadlocked it right there because we figured the city had already been called. There's no sense of compromising right now because the city's already involved. Let's see what the city has to say. That's the only thing. It wasn't true that we wasn't willing to compromise. We waited till they sent us the proposal, and the proposal came the same day.
Another thing I want to say is,
Sir, I need your name and
my name
speak.
is Joseph Brinson.
Joseph
Another thing
Brinson.
I wanted to say
Okay,
is
Mr.
about the compromise. We wanted to compromise, and for them to say that we didn't want to compromise, that's not true. And when we first saw the house coming up, we saw that it was a problem, and I even mentioned it to James, and we talked about that. But like I said, and another thing, when they said we never did get any landscaper to come out and talk to us about doing anything to the yard. That didn't happen. At least they didn't come to see me. So whether they came to see the neighbors or came to see somebody else, they never came to see us.
All I'm asking for in my motion is, from the conversations that we are having here now, is that you meet together and make a decision and come back before us with whatever that decision is. and then we will give you our decision. That's all we need.
And we do this often. We don't like to make that final decision, but we will if we have to.
Thank you.
All in favor of the motion to delay, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Okay? Ma'am? I can't hear you. You come up here. I hear your question. Address the question to me.
Yes, what's the time frame that we have to meet together again?
Well, the next meeting is June the 18th. Okay?
June what?
June the 18th.
18th, okay.
Now, you can be on that agenda if you like. If you can meet soon enough, we can wait and we'll roll it over till July. You okay with that, Ms. Brown?
I'm okay. All I need.
Well, we're going to try to make the June meeting because this been going.
All I need for you to do is meet.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll give you until as late as the July meeting, which will be the third Thursday of July.
And if we hadn't met by then, you all will make a decision.
Then we'll make a decision.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right, Ms. Brown? You okay?
Yes.
Tanya, you got that?
I didn't hear anything.
She wanted to know how long do they have to work it out or come to a compromise? And I said we would prefer the next meeting, but we'll give you until the July meeting to reach a compromise.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Yes.
Ma'am, you okay with it? Y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
You got until the third Thursday of July to be back here. You can come in June or you can come in July.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
That should give you plenty of time to work it out.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Both parties said they wanted to compromise.
We're going to wait.
That's an ugly sight coming out your front yard.
Okay. Item number 4 is presented by Kimberly Burkhart, requesting a special exception to keep a potbelly pig at 1700 North Oakview Court in an R60S single-family zoning. Request for a special exception to keep a potbelly pig. Yes, ma'am. Are you Ms. Burkhart?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Please identify yourself and give us your street address.
My name is Kimberly Burkhart.
And you're going to have to speak loudly into that thing. I'm sorry.
My name is Kimberly Burkhart, and I live at 1700 North Oakview Court,
Okay.
Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay. Thank you. And so you've got a potbelly pig
I do.
in your backyard?
Yes.
Does it stay in the backyard?
Yes. She comes in my house also, but she stays.
Excuse me?
She comes in my house also, but she's never gotten out. She
So-
doesn't smell and she doesn't make any noise.
So how long have you had it there?
I've had her for almost 2 years, but I just brought her home close to Christmas after my horse died. I had her at the barn where he was, and when he brought her home, I had to move her.
Okay. Well, I don't know if there's anybody here that has issued a complaint, but we do have complaints.
Okay.
Okay? And there's several in there that are saying, and I'm not going to call you up yet, but if you're here in opposition to this item, would you raise your hand that I would know? Okay. I'll give you the opportunity then. But there's some complaints.
Okay.
So you want to hear them and then we'll come back to
Okay.
you. If you'd like to come forward and issue your concern, we'll be happy to hear from you. I've got a complaint. We have a complaint here from Mrs. Bernita Patterson Ryan and a Ralph Bush. Are you Mr. Bush?
No, Mr. Livingston.
And Tara Wright. We have 3 complaints. Okay, go.
Okay. My name is Donald Livingston. I live at
Donald.
Donald Livingston.
Donald Jones Livingston?
Donald A. Livingston.
Okay.
I live at 1607 Vista View Drive, 36110, the zip code. Okay, I have some other friends. We talked about it. this been going on. The pig does get out, and I have cameras in the front of my house. I have 3 of them, and I forgot the date and time. My wife and I, we seen the pig, but we seen the pig when we was standing outside our front door. But I have it on camera.
Ma'am, hold on a minute, sir. You'll be given an opportunity to come back, okay? So you just listen, and you'll be given the opportunity, okay?
I have it on camera, but I forgot what day and time it was. All I know it was in the afternoon. And I done seen it about twice, and it's run all the way in the back of Vista View. I live past their house, in the middle of Vista View, and the pig was running all the way in the back. My wife and I seen it. And a couple of people that emailed you guys, they couldn't make it because they're working, and 2 of my friends, Butch, is sick, and he had to complain about it too.
So is the pig not contained in the backyard?
Right, no, because it came way in the path in front of my house. But like I said, if I have the date and time, I can show you on camera.
So how often does that happen?
Well, I work 2 full-time jobs. I done seen it about twice, so I leave in the morning, I don't get back home till at night.
Well, I asked her a while ago if the pig is kept in the backyard, and
No.
she said yes.
No, well, the pig has been out. My wife and I have seen the pig.
Does the pig create a nuisance other than just running around the neighborhood?
Well, I think eventually it will. I mean, you have kids out there playing, and I think it'll be a problem.
If she agreed to keep the pig in her backyard, would that be okay with you?
Well, I don't think it's gonna stay there because it got out several times through the gate, and where it get out, I don't know, because I don't go close up to the yard. And I live, about 15 houses from theirs.
You live 15 houses from
Right.
there?
See,
So
I have
the pigs roam in the neighborhood, huh?
Yes. And like I say, I don't remember the date and the time. Me and my wife was leaving the house, and the pig was going straight to the end of Vista View, way in the back.
Is there an odor coming from the yard because of the pig?
I can't smell it from my side, and I've never been close up to theirs.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you. Anyone else care to address this item?
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
How long has this pig been there?
Hold on.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
She'll have to come up here to address that. Hold that question. She'll have to answer that, Ms. Brown. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Pamela Irvin. I live at 1600 Selena Place in the same neighborhood. My concern is just the property value, because they live in a corner. So their backyard basically is not in the back where you don't see it. You see their yard, like from the street. And their house is like the first corner that you come to when you enter the neighborhood. So seeing their house, to me, affects the value of my homes because they're the first view that you see. And it's just not a good look. I mean, I could see if we were out in the farm, and I heard her earlier, she said that it came from somewhere else where there was a horse. And in other words, it's like there's a purpose why there's a permit in the city. We're in the city for a reason, not to have certain animals in the city. So my complaint is, because even with their house, you could see their yard, you could see everything in their backyard. It's visible from the street.
So is there no privacy fence there?
No, it's a chain link,
Okay.
so you could see it. And
So your concern is the unsightliness of it?
yes, because
Okay.
even with their house, the air condition, they have air conditioning units as
Right.
far as, and so just the whole view of the whole house is just devaluing my property
Gotcha.
to me.
Thank you. Any other concerns? Okay, ma'am. Ms. Brown had a question for you.
How long have you had this pig?
I've had her for over a year. I had her at a separate location, but I brought her to my house on February 5th.
Of this year?
Yes. And the pig that he is talking about, I have pictures of it. It was not my pig. It was a wild pig, and it was seen in several different locations.
Okay. Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
it appears that they're concerned about the pig getting out. Maybe it's not your pig, okay? And she spoke about you've got a chain link fence there, and it's unsightly. It's an unsightly condition, okay? Is there, for you to make sure you contain the pig and you eliminate any unsightly condition because the pig's there?
I actually have pictures.
Is this something, are you willing to put up a privacy fence there?
Yeah, we could put up a privacy fence.
That would shield the view?
Yes.
Could we see the picture?
Let's see, we'll see your picture. Is your entire backyard, rear yard enclosed with a chain link fence?
Yes, it is.
So just by putting up a privacy fence on that street side, then you still got the other two sides that are exposed, right?
Yes, it is. It's exposed to all of it, but the, like I said, she's never gotten out. I have pictures of the pig that they're talking about. I actually tried to catch that pig because somebody called me about it, and my pig was still in the backyard. It was not her.
So that's not your pig?
No.
Yeah. Is this pig a pet?
Yes, she is.
Well, I have a question. Question.
Okay.
Are you saying your pig did not get out?
The pig did not get out.
He don't get it all. So he didn't see him.
I have another picture that is, it's not my pig. It was a wild pig or somebody else's pig.
Y'all have more pigs in the neighborhood.
But it's seen in several different locations. It was seen like in our neighborhood, and then it was seen by Gunner, and then it was seen over in Forest Hills.
Ma'am, if the board saw fit, to what extent would you be willing to put up some type of a privacy fence to help improve the visibility so that they're not looking into your backyard and looking at the pig running around? What are you capable of doing?
We've already spoke about putting up a privacy fence, and we just needed to meet with y'all before we did so to make sure that y'all knew we weren't trying to hide anything or anything like that.
You'd put up a privacy fence all in your entire backyard?
We could do the whole entire backyard. I'm not sure when we could do the whole entire backyard. We could do like a section at a time.
Could you do at least that section that faces the street?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that that will contain that pig and it won't get out in the neighborhood?
Sir, she's never gotten out.
Okay. But if the pig comes...
But yes, it would not. It would contain her.
If the pig becomes a nuisance,
Okay.
running in the neighborhood, creating a smell or an odor, digging in somebody's yard, then the opposition can come back to us and we can take away this, any approval we give you. I'm not saying we're going to give it.
Okay.
But we can, if the pig becomes a nuisance, the pig can be taken.
Okay.
Okay?
And I have a picture of that pig that somebody posted to a lost and found site. That if you look, you can see that it's not.
We're talking about pig picking. We're talking about Okay. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Anyone else have any concern? Ms. Brown, if you want to make that motion?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I make the motion that...
Speak in the mic, please.
You got to speak louder. That's why she's up here by me, so I can keep...
I make a motion that we approve a special exception to keep a pot-bellied pig under these conditions. That the privacy fence that is requested be built, that if the pig is getting out, he will no longer be allowed to run through the neighborhood,
Well,
creating a smell and digging in others' yard. That's if, because she said that is not her pig
Right.
that is doing it.
I have a picture.
you don't need it.
I don't need it, okay.
She's making a motion.
Okay.
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 That it?
That's it.
The motion is the pig, the variance for the pig is approved subject to you containing the pig in the backyard. Okay? And putting up a 6-foot-high privacy fence along that, the portion of your yard that faces East Gardendale Drive.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
And
wait a
may
minute.
I add
Wait a
to
minute,
it?
we're not finished.
John, may I add to it?
Sure.
And that the pig not be a nuisance in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
So we're,
Ms. Brown, she made the motion. You okay with that, Ms. Brown?
Yes, I think I said,
Yes.
that's what I meant.
That's basically what you say. Yeah.
Right. Creating
Not be a
smell,
nuisance.
digging
Yeah.
in others' yard
Okay.
for
Do we have a
nothing.
second to that
I did-
motion?
yes.
I'll get to him. Do you have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, we got a second. Now, further discussion? George,
I'm good.
you good?
John, somebody out there?
We,
We're done. Okay.
questions on the floor?
Okay.
Ms. Brown, was that your
That's
motion?
acceptable. That's my motion.
Everybody understand? Tanya, you understand it?
I need to hear what you said, Mr. Hughes.
I
Mr.
was
Hughes,
saying there was someone out there with their hand raised, but it was too late.
Okay.
The question was on the table.
Well, Mr. Hughes was clarifying Ms. Brown's motion that
Not be a nuisance.
the pig would not be a nuisance to the neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Correct.
All right? Right, Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Steve?
Correct.
All right, everybody clear on the motion? All in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All opposed? Mr. Prince, what'd you do?
He's abstaining? You're abstaining? Okay.
Anyone abstain?
Mr. Prince?
Did you abstain?
Mr. Prince? Abstain. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
What was the what was it? Final.
6-1-1.
6-1-1.
Who opposed? All right, everybody in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All opposed to the motion? All abstain? Raise your hand.
I thought you opposed. I'm confused.
Okay.
Mr. Prince and Mr. Williams are abstaining?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Got it.
Understand the motion, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And if the pig becomes a nuisance, they can come back and ask for the pig to be removed.
Okay.
So keep the pig in your backyard, put up the fence. You got 30 days to get the fence up,
All right, thank you.
okay? Ma'am, that's a 6-foot-high privacy fence, 30 days, and it's on the side of your yard that faces East Gardendale Drive. Okay. Okay. It's been us tonight.
John, I have a question.
Yes,
just
sir.
General information. Does the city still have an animal control unit,
I believe they do, yes.
the police department? So if the pig
I think it's
got-
under the police department, yeah.
Okay,
I don't think they control pigs, though. I think they're mainly dogs and cats and domesticated animals.
okay. I had them come get some possums one time, but that's,
Oh, well, they may, I don't know.
okay, thank you.
Okay, item number 5 is presented by Beverly Williams, requesting a coverage variance for an accessory structure to be located at 2738 Sumter Avenue in an R100 zoning district. Hello, Mr. and Ms. Williams.
Yes, sir. Hello. How's
All right.
everybody today?
Are you having a good time?
Yes.
Yes.
We won't make any bacon jokes.
No pigs?
No bacon.
No
bacon
chickens?
jokes.
All right. No miniature horses?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Give us your name and address and go through the thing here.
My name is Beverly Williams.
You got to speak loud and directly into that mic.
My name is Beverly Williams 2738 Sumter Avenue, Montgomery, Alabama, 36109.
Okay, and you want a coverage variance for an accessory structure.
We do. We're looking for
Right.
a garage to house our vehicles and our lawn equipment.
Garage use only.
Yes, sir.
No plumbing,
No, sir.
okay? But is it a garage or a carport?
It's a garage, enclosed
Okay.
unit.
Enclosed, okay? You don't intend to operate any hobbies or any kind of a business from it, correct?
Not exactly, no,
These
sir.
are routine questions.
Just okay. We might change the tire in
Is there no
here.
setback requirement over there, Tanya? Is 5 feet all they need? 5 feet?
5 feet from the rear and side property line, 10 feet from any structure.
Okay.
And they're meeting that.
Even though you're complying with the setback on the side and the rear? Okay, you're only 5 feet from your property line?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Just make sure that your water coming off your building does not intrude onto your neighbor,
Absolutely.
No problem.
okay? Because then you got a real problem.
Yeah. Yeah, we
So
don't
you
wanna
got to
change the
direct your water away from your property owners
Absolutely.
on the back and the side, okay?
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
would you please explain to them what garage use only means? Because when she made the statement, she said not exactly.
Well, garage use only is just for the parking of vehicles.
Housing
Okay.
vehicles and our lawn equipment.
It's not intended to be used for hobby or
Correct.
business?
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
No plumbing?
No
No,
plumbing.
sir.
Okay? It's garage use only,
Yes.
okay? That good?
Okay.
Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, Mr. Howell, you want to make a motion?
No, I have a question.
All right.
Our diagram shows a non-covered area in front of it. Mike, can you put up the line drawing? It's got
Go to the one above that. Yeah, right there.
5B.
It says new covered area.
Yeah, it says new, and it's 30 by something. And then what is that part that's right above that? It's upside down to us, non-covered area. What is that?
That's new covered area. The
New covered area.
Yeah, the
Okay.
30 by 40 is the actual enclosed garage with the roll-down doors. And then the covered area is where we're going to put some patio furniture off to one side, just have a sitting area in the afternoon. So you got the garage and then an overhang that comes out.
That's an overhang that's 20 feet deep, but the garage is only 30 feet deep.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Okay, you've got a covered area right now at the end of your driveway.
Yes, sir, we're going to remove that.
You're going to remove that?
Yes, sir.
So that would do away with part of the problem about the coverage. That's what I thought you would have to get to the garage. So
Yes, sir.
it only makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Good question. So you're removing the 15 by 18 foot area
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
so that you can get your cars straight through?
Yes, sir. Well,
Got it.
yes, sir.
Okay. I got it.
Okay, I got it. That's fine.
You want to make a motion?
Motion to approve as presented.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Reese. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Good
Well,
luck.
thank you for your time today.
All right.
Thank you.
I need to see you before you leave, if you don't mind. If you don't mind. Have a motion to approve the minute.
Minutes are good.
Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Prince. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye.